My video for June the 8th, 2020 is video number 3479. The title is Deep State Crisis Actors Exposed. Do you believe the stories making headlines on mainstream news? My personal awakening was accelerated with the revelations of 9/11 events that simply did not make sense. Of course, many experts have exposed that hoax over the years. Today, we have the Black Lives Matter hoax about George Floyd and the fake cops in the video that went viral. Friends are sending me exposés that must be considered by thinking people. It was asked, if Floyd was unconscious, they would have administered basic life-saving protocols. They did not. It is alleged that the police in the video were crisis actors, as was Floyd himself. Are we being played? Is this just more of the lies being exposed? So many inconsistencies in the so-called official story. What will it take to activate critical thinking so that there can truly be a global awakening? What will it take to bring down the deep state actors? As Nobel Prize laureate William Faulkner wrote, quote, "Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. If people all over the world would do this, it would change the earth," end quote. I've been raising my voice. Who is listening? Where are the changes? Yeah, I had a number of friends, many of them Black friends, send me the thing about this George Floyd hoax. And if he was actually unconscious, they would have used life-saving techniques, which they did not do. And their emergency vehicles, only the one person gets out, generally speaking. The driver stays in the car. But in this one, the driver got out. The attendant, there's usually an attendant that gets out. Anyway, there were inconsistencies pointed out to me, including ones that the badges were on crooked. In one case, the badge looks like it was pasted on a uniform. The cars don't match up. There's all sorts of inconsistencies in the official story that is being blown out of proportion by mainstream media and creating all sorts of racial tensions. I told of the story of the Black Lives Matter march here in my hometown of Melbourne, Florida, where I thought the lady was going to hit me for saying that all lives matter. And her point was that Black lives matter more. And so many, even of my relatives in one case, and other friends are saying, you know, we've got to support Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization for the deep state, as far as I can tell. There are many of them. And even some of the honest organizations, some of the religious organizations, etc., have been infiltrated by people to play dark roles. I mean, one of the groups that I go to is infiltrated by what is perhaps a well-meaning individual who has all sorts of credentials, but always seems to push an agenda that supports some deep state character. What's it going to take is the question that I keep asking God. I keep asking, when are you going to take responsibility? Empower us, okay? Get us to the point where we are able to stand up against these entrenched bureaucrats, these deep state actors that have been lying to humanity, creating wars, creating all sorts of mayhem, because that's the game plan, is to create everything that's the opposite of peace. Everything that's the opposite of love, everything that is meaningful to humanity is being sidetracked and taken off base by these charlatans, and that's exactly what they are. They're not honest people. I can see that, and many others are waking up. In the white community, in the black community, I'm sure in the Asian community, all over the world, people are beginning to wake up. Are we getting closer to actual shift of the ages, from the age of to the age of Aquarius, from the Piscean age? Are we going to get rid of the duplicity that has been infiltrating humanity for who knows how many thousands of years? I'm not sure. I'm not sure of a lot of things anymore, because I try to expose myself to different points of view to the extent that I can handle it. And I can't handle some of it. I mean, some of it is just so out there. And I just had to block another individual this morning who was criticizing the video that I put up, the emergency video or unexpected video that I put up about the orphanage in Uganda. And I looked up his channel, and it has no content. Channels that have no content, when they make disparaging comments on my videos or whatever, when they don't have a content, they're gone. I mean, I look at that, that's a scammer. That's somebody that's a deep state plan. And we need to come to the realization, folks, that everything in our culture has been infiltrated with those that do not tell the truth, pure and simple. And not only don't they tell the truth, they abuse humanity. The game plan is enslavement. The game plan is total control. That's what the Bill Gates and the Faucis and the Rockefellers and not all Rockefellers and the Bauer Rothschilds and the elite establishment, they are all playing dark roles. Is that supposed to help us awaken? It's hard to awaken when everything you've been taught since you were a little child is riddled with lies. That your religion is the only right one, and everybody else is going to hell. Bullshit. I'm sorry, but that's just crazy. Those that tell the truth are those who can uplift others, but it's even difficult to know what the truth is. Discernment is so lacking in so many people, in such a large percentage of the population, that we are overridden with these lies, that thankfully there are more and more people waking up to it, but it still has a good ways to go. It's still not a majority of people that can tip the scales in the direction of truth and justice for all, and getting to the place where our religions teach love and not egotism of my way is the right way. Can't we see? Can't you see that are listening to this? Can't you hear your own heart beating for a higher revelation, one that will uplift us and transform human society into one that works for all of us? We've got to stop the nonsense. We've got to expose the criminal insanity that has been going on all of our lives. And that's why I continue to make videos. And even though I struggle sometimes, I hang in there one day at a time, trying to do the best I can to get people to think outside the box and wake up. Thank you for listening, and namaste.